Good afternoon. This is Carrie O'Brien, the Education USA advisor at Fulbright Columbia. Today, I'll give you a brief presentation about different funding opportunities for studies in the United States. So thank you for listening to my presentation. As you see on the screen, there are a few different principal types of funding for studying in another country. There's personal funding, which could be in the form of loans, bank accounts, family support, university funding, which comes in the forms of scholarships or assistantships, and international funding, which could be via government scholarships or loan programs and other scholarships offered in your host country, in this case, Colombia. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick overview about what is a scholarship. Scholarships are awarded to cover the cost of tuition fees, though some also include a grant or a stipend to help pay for accommodation and living costs. Your university will either pay you a stipend or will waive the cost of your fees up to a certain amount. Some scholarships in the USA are merit-based, so in that case, you may be required to maintain a GPA minimum during your course of studies. There are many, many different types of scholarships, and if you have any follow-up questions about these types of scholarships, you can talk with your Education USA advisor. The different types include merit-based, need-based, need-blind, university-specific, course-specific, subject-specific, career-specific, demographics-specific, country-specific, and ability-specific, among others. So there are many, many, many different types of scholarships that the universities in the U.S. provide, and it's very common to receive some sort of funding offer via scholarship from U.S. universities. On the screen are two excellent resources to look for scholarship opportunities. The first is through Education USA's website, Find Financial Aid, and the second is called fundingusstudy.org. This is provided by the Institute of International Education, and it's a great website where you can look for different scholarship opportunities for different areas of study and also for people from different countries. So you guys could filter by scholarships available for Colombian students, and if you want to study engineering, for example, you could filter Colombian engineering students. So I highly recommend both of these sites to look up scholarship opportunities. Another very common way that universities provide funding to their students, including their international students, are assistantships. Now, assistantships are slightly different to scholarships because instead of awarding a scholarship for graduate study, they provide a fee waiver or a stipend in return for services to the institution. This may involve teaching undergraduate courses or assisting in a lab or workshop at the university. So basically, you're trading some work for either a fee waiver or some sort of a financial stipend. Assistantships are very cost effective for the university because they provide valuable services to the university, but they also give a great opportunity for the student to train themselves in teaching or research. So it's cost effective for both the university and for the student. Assistantships may be funded by the university department or by your supervisor's research budget, or even by an external funding body with interest in a particular field of study. You can find opportunities for assistantships by the academic department webpage, the graduate school webpage, or even the human resources website. I also included a link to petersons.com, which is a resource that you can use to search universities. And On each page that you'll see when you find a list of universities in your field of study, you can revise the information there, and it will let you know if that university and if that academic program offers assistantships. This is something that you should look at when you're considering where to apply, because it's recommendable to find academic programs that have funding for either graduate assistantships or research assistantships. So make sure that you're applying to universities that offer funding in that way. One of the things that will help you to receive assistantship opportunities from the university is having high scores both on your TOEFL and on your GRE. That will increase your odds of receiving assistantship opportunities. They want to select people who have strong English skills and, in general, strong test scores. So you want to have competitive results on your TOEFL and GRE. So keep studying and keep doing your best effort to get the best score that you can on those exams, because they will not only help you to be admitted, but they will help you to receive financial support in the form of both scholarships and assistantships. Just so you know, assistantships are rarely offered for professional degrees like the JD, MBA, or MD, and they are often a requirement for PhD programs. So it's very common to have an assistantship as a PhD student in the US, particularly in STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, and math. Students with an assistantship are obliged to carry out specific teaching or research activities, and that will be stipulated in a contract that you will sign with the university. In return, you will receive a modest salary and/or a waiver of your tuition fees. Some universities may also provide funding for field trips or conference participation. Make sure when you are given the assistantship opportunity that you are within the constraints of your student visa, which may specify employment restrictions. So, for example, with the F1 visa, you will have the right to work up to 20 hours a week on campus, and you cannot work more than that because that's a limitation according to your visa. So make sure you go to your student visa webpage and understand the limitations of how many hours you can work. In this presentation, I also wanted to explain a little bit about out-of-state tuition waivers. These are waivers that are sometimes offered by public universities that are funded by state taxes. So we have here a graphic of an example of out-of-state tuition waivers here. So on the left-hand column, you see, let's look at 15 or more credits. The out-of-state tuition rate per semester is over $13,000. So out of state means you do not legally reside in the state where the university is. So you're expected to pay more than the people who reside and pay taxes in that state. But occasionally, international students or even US students are awarded out-of-state tuition waivers from the universities, and that amount will mean that they can pay the same tuition that residents of that state pay. So in this case, when we have a 100% waiver, you're being waived of $9,105 US, and the remaining tuition expense per semester would be $4,279, which is what people who reside in the state pay. So this is hopefully a clear breakdown of how out-of-state tuition waivers work. And remember that these are sometimes offered as financial aid by public universities. As a reminder, public colleges receive money from the government of the state where they are located, and often they offer a lower tuition for students who are residents of that state. Private colleges do not receive government funding and have one tuition, which is for everyone, whether or not you're a resident of the state. And if you have questions about this, please meet with your Education USA advisor. Here we have an overview of the timeline of what you can be expecting to do over the coming months. So remember that you'll need to prepare all of the requirements for the university applications. Take the necessary exams, write the essays, ask for the letters of recommendation, and any other additional scholarship applications or assistantship applications will require different documents as well. So keep focusing on getting great scores on your TOEFL and or your GRE, and make sure between August and December you will be applying to the universities and applying for scholarships and assistantships. In January or February, if you're interested in international scholarships or loans, is when you should start thinking about that and applying to that. In a moment, I'll show you two options, which are Colfuturo and Fulbright. In June and July, you can expect to have your funding plan more clear, receive offer letters from the universities, and receive a document called I-20 to begin working on getting your student visa. And finally, you'll enter your study program and the academic year will begin in August of the following year. And this is when you might find out additional information about assistantships, for example. Okay, so we will also upload longer presentations about Colfuturo and Fulbright, but here's a quick overview of Colfuturo. It is funding that is available for master's and doctoral degrees abroad, outside of Colombia, for full-time on-campus study. These loans can be up to $50,000 US, and for a maximum of 2 years. So you can get up to $25,000 per year. There's one call for applications per year. It opens January 10th and it closes February 28th, with the results being published May 15th. Here is a quick overview of the scholarship scheme. Depending on your area of study, you can have some of your scholarship or some of your loan forgiven through Colfuturo, and this is a breakdown of how that works. So for example, if you studied law or business, you can have up to 20% of your funding forgiven. So if you owe, $100, let's say as a hypothetical example, you can have up to $20 forgiven that you don't have to pay back. But please listen to the Colfuturo presentation for more detailed information about how the funding structure works. And with Fulbright Columbia, the funding is also available for master's and doctoral degrees in the United States only, in this case, for full-time on-campus study. There's also one call for applications per year for the graduate grants, and that opens mid-February, closes at the end of May. Results of the next call for applications will be published at the end of August 2017 to enter your study program in August 2018. And at the bottom right of the screen, there's a quick overview of what these scholarships include. But Fulbright scholarships are generally very generous. However, they vary depending on who is co-financing the scholarship. So in the presentation that will be uploaded separately about Fulbright, you can find out more information about how the grant works. Thank you for listening to this quick presentation. And once again, if you have any questions about the topics discussed in the presentation, please talk to your Education USA advisor. Thank you.